just want to know how all of this came together with you guys. I mean, how this is an amazing.
This is where we give credit to original films for doing something.
Do it. They'd be so stoked.
Neil Moritz is a producer on the show. He knows us and he knows him. And this guy, Ori, used to work with them, and he set us up with Sam Catlin to do Preacher, and we've always chased everything Garth is doing. And they told us that we should jump on board with this guy and do it. And Preacher worked out, and so we followed their lead.
Do you feel dirty now?
I do. I don't like giving them credit for anything.
Speaking of Preacher, with that one you toned down the swearing just enough for TV, and
only because AMC made me.
Yeah. So are you going to be toning down in a similar way for this, or are you going flat out?
Amazon lets you go nuts.
Although I got like a hilarious note on one of the scripts where because I just want to know who did the legwork. It was like, there's 50 fucks in this script, and could we get down to a 4 in front of that number? And I was like, let me look. I don't know. but like it makes me like some intern somewhere was like 1, 2, 3. Fuck, there's 53 fucks. And,
so in all our movies, we do a defucking pass. We write it with like way too many fucks and then take them out after. It's just more fun to write when you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how far does that extend, I guess, to also the content of the show? The books are very, very, very graphic.
Yeah.
Like, granted, this isn't for cable or network. Do you still have to walk a line with what is too far versus what isn't far enough?
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as he always says, like, it's all about the characters, and if they're not like real people going through real stuff and having real pain and real loss, then it's just gratuitous and pointless. Like, everything's character based. And we tried to ground the show in like a more reality-based universe than like, say, a Marvel movie. And so we use that as a guideline too, which is let's not do anything that couldn't happen in our world conceivably, but let's deal with it all from the character's perspective and their emotional damage. And in doing that, we won't hopefully do anything that's offensive, but only do things that are investigative into like the human condition.
Yeah, the last thing we were interested in was being shocking for shocking's sake, because frankly that's really fucking boring and cheap. It's a cheap shot, and so as we
seasons down the road, maybe.
Ask me in season 3, I'll get real fucking. But when you start to, we always just said, okay, reality is the compass. So, okay, if you really have Superman powers, how would you really behave? What would you really be? And then what are the awful shit that you may or may not really do? And if it goes back to what that person would really do, then we would explore it. And if we were like, no, they wouldn't really do that, then we wouldn't. So they're all about, when you're raised to be, they're this bizarre cross of celebrity and politician and sports, professional athlete, and they're nothing but enabled, and they have nothing but access. And like, what does that do to your psyche? And we don't look at them as, oh, they're villains. We look at them as, you spent your entire life with people just doing nothing but saying yes to you, and no one even, and every time you acted out, only encouraged you to do that. Like they do to Seth and Evan.
Yeah. You have no idea how hard it is to be cool right now. Let him talk. Just want to walk all over it.
But so that leads to really interesting and sometimes shocking moments, but it's always grounded in who these characters really are.
As far as like the boys compared to, let's say, even Hitman or Preacher, it's got, I guess Hitman has some connections too, but the boys has like the most overt connections to superhero worlds, where it's like these are the evil Justice League, So, and I mean, evil isn't even a good enough word. Just out of control Justice League is probably better. So, how do you deal with that when it comes to writing it, and when knowing that people just saw Superman last year on screen, like, oh, and this is a different version of Superman than you're used to seeing?
I mean, I think what he was saying, it's all about the characters. Like, maybe you go into the pilot thinking that. By the end of the pilot, you won't think that. Like you could compare A-Train to the Flash, but by the end of the pilot, you won't. He's a different dude with a different personality, making really different choices. And it's like now, like there's the Flash, but there's also like Quicksilver. Like I don't think kids are like, this is the Flash, this is a speedster, and it's everything's more general because it's such an inundation of superheroes.
To go off that example, like what we tended to do is we said, okay, there's a speedster class of superhero, and then just in the room we were like, okay, so what would it really be like to be that dude? And then what we got to was be fucking stressful, because you're only a hero if you're the fastest.
Yep.
Like if someone beats you and you're second, you're not the fucking hero anymore,
Yeah.
because you're not the fastest man in the world. Like that's really stressful to be a performance-based superhero. So then that took us very logically to A-Train is really Usain Bolt, or Lance Armstrong, or like one of these guys who has to operate at the edge of human ability,
and would also have like very little patience.
like a highly strung racehorse, because it's so stressful. Like Superman's just flying around and he's fucking Superman for the rest of his life. A-Train sooner or later needs to like get a car dealership. You know what I mean? So it's like
Plan for the future.
yeah, you gotta come up with a plan. So it's those types of conversations that led us to really explore who these characters are, and I think some innovative ways.